My mortgage was denied 3 days before my wedding. My sister knew exactly why. My name is Lauren. I am 29 years old. I live in Phoenix, Arizona, and my wedding day, the day I had planned for 18 months, the day I had dreamed about since I was a little girl, became the day I found out that my older sister had been stealing my identity for 6 years and had destroyed my financial life so completely that our mortgage application had been denied 3 days before the ceremony. I want to tell you this story carefully because there are parts of it that still make me feel physically sick and parts of it that make me feel something closer to steel. By the end of this, I hope you understand why I did what I did. And I hope you understand why I have not spoken to my sister since. Her name is Jess. She is 32 years old, 3 years older than me, and we grew up together in a house in Scottsdale where our parents worked hard and gave us everything they reasonably could. Jess was always the charismatic one, funny, social, the kind of person who walked into rooms and owned them. I was quieter, more studious, more careful. We were close growing up in the way sisters can be close when they are different enough not to compete directly with each other. I did not know that the closeness I felt was not entirely mutual. Let me tell you how identity theft actually works in a family context because it is not like the movies. It does not start with someone dramatically stealing your wallet or hacking your accounts. It starts small. It starts with access. Jess knew my social security number because we had grown up in the same house and our parents kept important documents in a shared filing cabinet that we both knew about. She knew my date of birth, my mother's maiden name, my childhood address. She had all the building blocks. All she needed was the willingness to use them. The first thing she opened was a credit card when I was 22. I was in college. I was not monitoring my credit. I had no reason to think anyone was using my information. Jess opened a Visa card in my name with a $3,000 limit and maxed it out within 4 months. Then she opened another one. Then a store card. Then a personal loan. Over 6 years she opened 11 separate accounts in my name totaling just over $47,000 in debt. She made minimum payments on some of them sporadically enough to keep them from going immediately to collections but not enough to actually reduce the balances. Several of them did go to collections. My credit score, which I had never checked because I was young and financially naive and trusted the world more than I should have, was 498 by the time I found out. I found out 3 days before my wedding. My fiancé, now my husband, Jake, and I had been working with a lender for months on a mortgage for a house we had found in a neighborhood we loved. We had done everything right. We had saved our down payment, we had our financial documents in order, we were ready. 3 days before our wedding our lender called to tell us the mortgage had been denied. The reason was my credit, specifically 11 derogatory accounts, several in collections, representing nearly $47,000 in debt that I had supposedly accumulated and then largely failed to pay. I sat in our apartment and I looked at the credit report our lender sent over and I read through 11 accounts that I had never opened. I knew immediately. I did not want to know. I sat there for probably an hour trying to find another explanation and there was none. The oldest account had been opened 6 years ago. 6 years. Jess had been doing this for 6 years. Jake held my hand while I cried. Then he asked me what I wanted to do and I told him I did not know yet. He said whatever I decided he was with me. I married that man 3 days later in a ceremony that was genuinely beautiful. And that I was genuinely present for because I made a conscious decision that Jess was not going to take that day from me too. I smiled in every photograph. I danced at my own reception. I held Jake's hand and meant every word of my vows. And then the week after our honeymoon I filed a police report. I want to dwell on that decision for a moment because I know it is the part that will divide people. Filing a police report against your own sister is not a small thing. My parents begged me not to. My mother called me crying and said the family would never recover. My father said there had to be another way. Jess herself called me. And this is the part that still makes me the angriest when I think about it. Jess called me and said she was sorry, that she had been in a bad financial place, that she had always meant to pay it back, that she loved me and hoped I could understand. I listened to everything she said. Then I told her that I understood perfectly, that she had made a deliberate choice 11 times over 6 years to use my name and my credit to fund her life, and that she had done it while sitting across from me at family dinners and hugging me at Christmas and standing in my wedding as my maid of honor. She was my maid of honor. She stood next to me on my wedding day with a bouquet in her hands and a smile on her face, and she knew. She had known for 6 years. I filed the report. The investigation took several months. Jess cooperated partially. She admitted to some of the accounts and disputed others in ways that her own records eventually contradicted. The result was a formal charge of identity theft and fraud. She received a plea agreement that included probation, mandatory financial counseling, and a restitution order requiring her to repay the full amount of the debt she had created in my name. The civil process of repairing my credit took over a year. Letters, disputes, documentation, follow-up calls, more documentation. It was exhausting and consuming, and it required an attorney whose fees were another expense I had not planned for. My credit score today is 741. I built that number back from 498, one disputed account at a time. Jess completed her probation. She is living in another city now. My parents have a relationship with both of us separately because they cannot choose and I have not asked them to. Family holidays are navigated with the careful geography of people who are managing something they cannot fix. Jake and I got our mortgage 14 months after our wedding. We are in the house we wanted. Not the specific one we lost that sold before we were ready, but one in the same neighborhood that we have made completely our own. I planted a garden in the backyard last spring. I make coffee in my own kitchen every morning and I look around at the life I built and I feel something I did not feel for a long time. Uncomplicated peace. People ask me if I regret filing the police report, if I wish I had handled it privately. And I think about Jess standing next to me on my wedding day, knowing what she had done, smiling for the photographs, and I know my answer every single time. I do not regret it. Not for 1 second. So Reddit. AITA for filing a police report against my own sister after she stole my identity for 6 years? Because my family says I destroyed her life. But she had 6 years to stop. She kept going. Tell me your verdict.